I check this out almost every day. I listen to this as a podcast. I will not lie. Like, I'll be driving to work and I have this playing on my way up the mountain to work. I absolutely love Pegasus's videos on like the daily updates on what's going on with like the streaming downfall. I absolutely love these. Absolutely love these. You're number one. You're number one.
Welcome back to a series so unhinged. Even Taylor Lorenz subscribed. In today's video, female Hassan aka Denims is back and she claims she will be fighting the Ethan lawsuit to the very end. She says she will not be settling and humiliating herself like Casey Tron, and reveals that Fruggen will probably be settling too. Settling for 2,000 Big Macs, actually. Attorney Legal Mindset has revealed details involving the Hassan Orbiter case. Casey Tron and Fruggen might be legally obligated to turn on Denims and destroy her. Froggen might be forced to apologize for the damning previous clips. Cinema, rank #1 Hassan simp and failed journalist Taylor Lorenz is back, and she's done an interview about Ethan. She's crying about Ethan's lawsuits and constantly lying about him. She calls him a vindictive psychopath and a hardcore Zionist Israel defender. She claims Ethan is a crybaby and is behaving like Israel. Where have I heard that before? She admits the Orbiters violated copyright, but that it doesn't matter. Delusional. Subscribe or you turn into the Denims puppet. Your call.
Oh my gosh, I love hearing about this. All right, yeah, you have a good one. You have a good one. Oh my gosh. It's insane how the streaming world has devolved into, well, literally, this is pretty accurate. This. It's a horrifying picture that's known as the Denims puppet. That she's an OnlyFans streamer who apparently orbits around the person who loves terrorism. Yeah.
Let's up those numbers!
Now let's begin. Right, so the Hassan Orbiters continue to get absolutely cooked. Recap, Ethan sued Casey Tron, Denims, and Froggen for violating copyright. Since then, a lot of lore went down, with Froggen playing hide and seek, dodging Ethan's server. Casey and Denims also talked a lot of shit, but one case has wrapped up. Casey Tron was humiliated and forced to apologize to Ethan, Ela, the H3 crew, and Asmongold. She also backstabbed Hassan, revealing he did not donate a single dollar to any Orbiter. Right, so out of nowhere, Denims has responded, and she says that she's going to fight all the way in court and beat Ethan in the lawsuit. She was responding to Casey's apology. This apology, which I can only assume was somehow forced to extract a settlement, was painful to listen to.
It's funny how everyone claims like the apology was forced. Like she was forced to apologize to Asmongold. She was forced to apologize to Ethan and the H3 podcast, and that she needs to turn on. It's like these people's minds are only like, there's no way that she could lose her lawsuit. Like these people who absolutely stole someone's work. Like if I was contacted from someone who I reacted to their stuff, that I was basically, I'd understand. It'd be like, I apologize. I'll remove it. I'll see if I can make amends in some way. It's just the correct thing to do, instead of putting on a stream and then saying, oh, we're going to take this person's revenue so we can watch it ethically, and then turn around and not even watch it, not even pay attention to it.
It's absurd and ironic that Ethan accuses Hassan of being a puppeteer while LARPing as a comic book villain in this way. While it is unfortunate that Ethan appears to have been able to exert control over her in this way, I'm happy that Casey was given an opportunity to minimize the harm to her family, avoid the risk of losing her home, and move on from Ethan's lawsuit. By the way, if she wanted to minimize harm to her family, she would literally cut them off. Honestly, she's a liability. Holy shit. She'll probably just suck up their money and spend it on weed. Literally, her bio is the people's pothead. And support my GoFundMe. Still? What happened to this, Casey? What the heck? I want to make several things clear. My trial date is 10/26/26, and I look forward to beating Ethan in court. While Casey and likely Fruggen have caved to Ethan Klein, which is a decision I doubt they've made lightly, settling like this is not an option for me. By the way, didn't Casey and Denim share the same lawyer, or am I remembering wrong? Because I remember two of them had the same lawyer, and one was like running away. I wonder what happened with that.
Now we've served. She was forced to be born. Yeah, aren't we all? Aren't we all? Absolutely. But yeah, this whole thing is just absolutely insane. So the whole thing started off because CPS, this guy was constantly harassed. He once did a podcast with the terrorist lover. He once did a podcast with them, and then when they couldn't see eye to eye on praising terrorism, he separated himself from the other guy. And then everyone started like harassing him. He didn't care. They came to him in public and harassed him and everything. But what they did is they called CPS on him, and his children were taken away from him on a flat out lie. Even though it's a few hours that they were taken, that scars a kid. And ever since then, he has been on a war footing to basically destroy the careers of the people who had his kids taken from him. And to any rational person who sees this, that's a husband and father. That's someone who sees someone who harmed his family and is going to war with anyone who ever dared touch his family. Who cannot see him as the absolute hero of the story and everyone else as the villain finally at the end of the film? Because they thought themselves the hero originally. They were the villains, and now the villain is being taken out, and they're claiming the hero who's finally going to win everything is the villain. Of course, every villain thinks that the hero's the villain, because they were at the top of the world and they're going to lose everything due to their own actions. All they had to do was apologize. What's funny is at the very beginning of the lawsuit, they just needed to basically apologize to him, do a public apology, and say they wouldn't target him anymore or harass him anymore. That's all they had to do.
Denims and Casey Tron. They're using the same lawyer.
It is not an option for me because it would set a precedent that endangers the financial security of any streamer that creates reaction content. Oh my god, Denim, stop acting like your work was transformative. Please. If you create content that involves commenting on videos on Twitch or enjoy consuming reaction content, you should be on my side. No, you shouldn't.
No.
The commentary you give is not transformative at all, in my opinion. I feel like it's completely different from videos like we make, for example, that are obviously way more transformative and fair use. If you don't believe...
Well, yeah, because they will take clips, they'll add it, they'll read things from the... Me, I'm more pathetic. I have a full-time job. All I have time for is just to react and enjoy the entire Legendary series. I've watched it from episode 1 all the way to, I think we're on episode 190 now. That's how far this has gone on ever since the beginning of the lawsuit. And it has been nothing but pure gold for those of us who enjoy like the streaming world's kind of downfall. Even though I guess I'm a part of it, but I'm not, in the upper echelons even close to be even considered. Nobody would know my name.
Please read ahead and let me convince you. Oh boy. I watched and reacted to Ethan's highly anticipated content nuke shortly after it aired. Make no mistake, my coverage more than doubled Ethan's video in length, but you also said that you wanted to take away views from him, which is absolutely malicious. Just the amount of time you react to a video isn't like directly making it transformative. Ethan's video spanned 104 minutes. I spent 230 minutes reacting to, critiquing, and commenting on the content in it, during which I paused 210 times. This means I added 120% of the runtime, on average pausing every 30 seconds to add 36 seconds of commentary. Commentary length is substantially more than Asmongold, XQC, or any other...
I'm not gonna lie. Same thing for me. I love watching like the Korean streams of League of Legends. I feel like that is my #1 sport. I know nothing about football. I know nothing about hockey. I know nothing about cricket. I know nothing about baseball, but I can tell you all about the characters in League of Legends and the roles each people has to do. The jungler, the top laner, the mid, I know them all. I absolutely know them all. That's insane. But that's because the Korean tournament is always live. Most others aren't, or there's a paywall or something. So I've always watched the Korean commentators. I always enjoy it. I know all those teams because I enjoy that.
Other streamers and YouTubers. As we know, Ethan decided to not sue Asmongold XQC, but he wouldn't sue them and they didn't intentionally try to deprive him of revenue, and you said yourself that you did. This notion is frivolous and is a fabrication. I mean, we have the clips.
Well, guys, if you enjoyed not giving any views to that terrible video, follow, subscribe, throw a prime.
Ethan claims he's pursuing this claim against me because of some claimed malicious intent. There are 2 statements that Ethan falsely claims demonstrate my intent, along with his conspiracy theory. I mean, this is clearly written by like our lawyers or whatever. The first statement is my response to a chat message. We're relying on you to stay live so we don't have to give the nuke views. I replied, yeah, I'm going to stream it. Since it's confirmed it's coming out today, I'm going to stream it. I hope that is self-evident, but it'd be bizarre for me to take that opportunity to bring attention to this group of people and how they should actually watch his video on his channel. It isn't my place, I don't care, and making a big deal out of it would only encourage the zealotry that Ethan is upset about. Zealotry. All right, this is some lawyer shit. I merely acknowledge.
I think everyone's a league person. Let's be honest. Everyone deep down is a league person. There are those of us who are esports people, primarily just for one game or another. And then the other branch of the tree is basically everyone who was following like the real IRL sports. Yeah, I was always into the esports. But yeah.
that I was going to react to it and moved on. Drawing a broader narrative based on a chat message I did not write is delusional. By the way, I just want to remind you, this is the same person that read a fact on screen and immediately took the opposite meaning of that fact.
Create any bad memory for them. You're not forming memories at 3 years old, and it's very rare that you're forming memories at 5 years old. The average age of adults' earliest memories is 3.5 years old. You're not really forming memories at 3.
It's like you.
It's funny. I guess he's gonna say it because every single time, because it's funny, there are clips of her saying one thing, like how I did earlier on that other video where I was saying one thing, and then the very next scene was them proving the contradictory argument.
Cannot even reason with these people. It's like worse than arguing with a toddler. The second statement is a throwaway show comment I said before signing off. Well, guys, if you enjoyed not giving any views to that terrible video, follow, subscribe, throw a prime if you like my content. Yeah, throwaway content. Don't give views to that video. Nice. As an aside, the statement is factual almost certainly. If someone watched my coverage, they had no interest in watching Ethan's video without the addition of critical commentary and never would have. Brother. Regardless, the statement does not characterize my intent, and most you can say that this is a mean-spirited comment in poor taste. Making a joke like this is too far, and that Ethan deserves more respect. We can agree to disagree. I mean, I don't know why you're making this long-ass tweet. Just present your arguments in court and let the judge decide. Like, nobody is buying this shit. I humbly request that we take this opportunity to question Ethan's framing of events and call a spade a spade. Oh, is she trying to, like, shift public opinion so that it somehow influences the decision in court eventually? That might be, like, a strategy somehow. If it's going to be decided by, like, a jury, maybe, then this might be a legitimate strategy, but I don't think you're going to win favor in the public. Ethan is bullying people who said things about him that he did not like, and he can only do that because he has more money than them. In doing so,
Well, again, it's his right. It's his right. And these people who are complaining about being sued are the ones who constantly talk about how free speech. Oh, I can say this about how soldiers deserve to be scarred for life due to them being soldiers, or how the U.S. deserved 9/11, or they feel free with that kind of stuff, but actions have consequences. Things you say have consequences. There's a cause and effect. And pushing a man so far to where his kids are put at risk, guess what? You F around, you find out, and they reach the find out stage when they effed with a man's children.
So at least in his lawsuit against me, he's setting a disastrous precedent for our corner of the internet. And my hope is that others in our community with resources like Ethan's do not follow in his small footsteps. And here we have the real reason for the post. Please donate to my legal fund. Yes, please donate. Please donate so the money goes directly to Ethan, just like Casey Tron. Every penny donated has gone exclusively to court costs and fees and will go nowhere else. Yeah, for now. As stated earlier, my trial date is 10/26/26. You will eventually have to pay Ethan's court fees as well, so. And I look forward to beating Ethan in court, ideally with your assistance. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Oh my god, she is desperate. Right, she's linked her GoFundMe here. Dennis versus Ethan Klein, 51,000 raised. It is still lesser than Casey Tron. You cannot make this shit up, bruh. Diabolical. It is still lesser, and it's all gonna go to Ethan. I don't know why people are still getting duped. Look, people are still donating. What idiots. Donating because of the recent news. I did not think he could get more hateful, but he keeps surprising me, hoping for karma for this bully. Karma. Oh.
What's funny is it is karma. He is the karmic act of what they had been doing with their harassment. But a lot of people view themselves, that's the problem with people who view themselves as right. They refuse to accept anything as wrong. Anything that they do can be possibly wrong because they've always believed themselves to be right. That's why the morons who say, oh, we're on the right side of history are just morons speaking nonsense. Because what is the right side of history? The victor.
my god, you people are so stupid. I'm a majority report listener. I've never watched you before, but donating for the first time, seeing the deranged and horribly cruel statement from the Sociopathic Alliance. Get his ass. I gave you more than your Habibi Hassan, who was too busy saying how rich he is at the face party. How dare you beg for money when there's a genocide going on? Have some grace. So happy to donate to this pro-terrorist Twitch streamer. I'm glad it's going to a good cause, aka Ethan's pocket when he drags you in court. Listen, even though it's likely going to go to Ethan's pocket, I still would not recommend donating just to...
Yeah, no one should donate their money, because even if it is going to go to the person who's rightfully due to been rightfully harassed, he's already well off. He just wants to destroy her, and the money you give to her is just less money she has to pay out of pocket, or sleep with enough guys to pay it, since she is an OnlyFans streamer.
I mean, you could just directly donate to Ethan. I feel like there's no need to troll. Sending love, Denims, you got your simps. And we got the ultimate simp, Mike from PA. I completely agree with your assessment of the situation surrounding Casey Tron, and you're gonna beat his ragged ass in court. Mike, how about you go beat up the couch again? Take out your anger on the couch. We'll see, Denims. We'll all see. This is such a crazy picture, by the way. You probably shouldn't try your case in public. Any public comments you make can be used in court. Unfortunately, your comparison is apples to oranges. At this point, the Denims apology video is gonna be pure comedic gold. I mean, we've gone through this song and dance so many times where they're so
I don't think the Denims apology will be accepted. I really don't. That one I think will be no. You can apologize now, but it's too late. I'm not accepting it, and go straight to court.
They're so full of themselves, and then look at what happened to Casey Tron. Literally days apart. Asmongold and XQC are incels. I would like to apologize to Asmongold. Oh my god, bruh.
All of these incel types, like the Asmongold fans, the XQC fans, for example, weaponizing the death of Asmongold's mother was inexcusable.
It sure was. 1
down, 2 to go. The clock beam stays undefeated. Thank you, Denims. I hope big streamers like XQC and Asmon realize that your fight is their fight. Like, how delusional are you?
Yeah. Her family gives her too much freedom without any consequences. Yeah, that's absolutely the case. A lot of the issues has to be with the parenting. Yes, you can blame like the U.S. being a little more frivolous when it comes to accepting what someone wants to do, but in the end, the morals come from top to bottom. And I've always made the statement where it was like it was children having children. You had the hippie generation. Not understanding like the concept of war, like you can't have nothing comes for free, like the world, like the nation we live in is the way it is because we were able to fight for it. And then you had those hippie generation having kids, and then those kids had kids, and then those kids had kids, and now we're stuck in the generation we are in where we had children who are grandparents now, who never fully grew up, who never fully matured because their parents never really taught them anything. And their parents, their grandparents, their great, it's insane. But yeah, people need to learn consequences and have a moral code of some sort.
What the are these bots? Please let the trial be live stream. I can't wait to see that, dude. Imagine how many episodes that could get out of that. That would be cinema. Moving on to Attorney Legal Mindset, talking about some specifics of the lawsuit regarding Ethan, and he talks about Froggen as well.
We can go through and see the parties. We can see plaintiff Ted Entertainment, that's H3H3, and defendant Casey Cavanis, PKA, Casey Tron, and the stipulation. So they agree to settle the action, right? They have reached an agreement to settle the present action. It includes a provision which remains to be performed. Well, the third thing is likely her testifying against Denims and possibly Froggen if they are to proceed in court. So she's going to have to turn on them and testify against them and give up any information on them. Also likely, and this is a speculation, one of the provisions which may have already been done is turning over all of her communications, emails, Discord messages, Reddit messages, etc., as it relates to this lawsuit. So that may have already happened. Denims said already that likely Froggen is going to settle, but the big problem for Froggen is what she's going to have to say, because Froggen always tries to play tough. She tries to ally very closely with Hassan Piker, but as you saw, Casey Tron was required to turn on Hassan Piker.
Right, so basically from what I understand, unless Casey fulfills this part of the deal, she's still pretty much cooked, right? Meaning she literally has to turn on Hassan and Denims and Froggen, and she might have to personally testify against him in court, and that will absolutely destroy their friendship.
Well, she did say she would testify. She did say that everything she was saying in her apology video, she would testify towards it. So that way that video can literally be used in court now. Even if she tries to renege, she was saying that she could, or she would.
or their orbitership, whatever you call the relationship between two heavenly bodies. Ethan has quite literally done a 2 million IQ move, completely separating them, isolating them, and making them eat each other alive. And I think Froggen definitely wins that competition. Any eating competition, Froggen wins. Do not challenge her in the Thunderdome. So then he talks about the Froggen case and how Ethan will probably ask for similar retractions like Caseytron. You know how she had to apologize for all these statements? Well, Froggen will probably have to do that too.
Ethan Klein.
I told you guys to clap.
This is a good reaction.
That was a good one.
So see them laughing, see them giggling there? They're not going to be laughing and giggling, and Froggen's not going to be laughing and giggling when she is forced to justify why she ends up putting Ethan Klein in the loves Sabra category, and perhaps retracting this
racist tier
statement,
list,
and perhaps making making amends for this particular piece of our history. So I can imagine that might be one of the things that they are going to end up pushing back against Froggen on in that settlement statement. So that's going to be included as a condition, as well as likely any communication she might have with the Reddit mods, which would be big, or even further with Hassan Piker. And this might be the difficult thing for her because she might have a lot of communications with Hassan Piker, a lot, which she's scared to turn over. This actually paints a situation where both Caseytron and Froggen, the girl who is sitting right next to her, who is sitting on the couch right here on this podcast, is going to have to testify against her in court and going to have to say, no, this was a plan, this was intentional, we did this, with bad intent and bad faith.
I mean, what did I say, fellas? Have you seen this level of cinema? The Hassan orbiters are being forced to turn against each other, testify against each other in court, absolutely destroy each other in order to save themselves. I mean, this is beyond a TV show. Some would call it legendary, a legendary series. Dude, when I started this series, it wasn't even a series. It was just a bunch of random YouTube videos, and I never thought entertainment could still get this good. And the fact is, I'll probably be telling this story to my grandkids. Yes, back in the day, I created what we call the legendary series.
See, I said it. There's 190. 190. I've watched it from the beginning. I absolutely enjoy it. It's absolutely worth the watch. Everyone needs to see it. Everybody. What's funny is he's got other videos like on Mr. Beast and like Logan Paul and others, but it's this one that I absolutely love. This literally is the legendary series. It's the best one he's got.
With Hassan and friends, right? And they probably won't believe me. They'll be like, yeah, sure, grandpa. And then I'll show them it's all recorded, and then they'll claim it's AI. Come on, I'm cooked, man. I can't prove anything after like 2 years when AI takes over, man. But you guys know the truth and know that this is actually happening right now. Cinema. Pinch yourselves, because this is not a dream. Pyrrha responded, I predict she makes an apology she doesn't mean, and then a year later says things which contradict her statement, opens herself to violating the settlement agreement. The streamers record themselves talking several hours a day. It's only a matter of time before she says something which gets her in trouble again. I mean, Caseytron will definitely keep yapping. I don't know about that. It's easy to act off until they threaten to take your house. I mean, fair. Froggen isn't giving up her McDonald's funny without a fight. That she will fight tooth and nail for that shit. Do not mess with her Big Macs. Things don't look for Hijab of the Hutt's chance of getting out of this in the positive. She might just eat her competition. I mean, that is an option. Definitely genius on Ethan's part to get her to potentially testify against the last two. That is legitimately some impressive shit. They're all gonna settle. Denim talks big, but when she's the last holdout, she'll be under a lot of pressure. She'll cave because it will become clear to her that she can't win. Even if she could, she'd be bankrupt after. I mean, they've all been talking like so much shit, except Froggen. She's ironically been like this.
Yeah, because there's no way they will ever actually win. Their claims are frivolous. I think that's what I'm trying to say, where they're I wasn't stealing, it was a public domain, I was doing fair use. It's like all their arguments are absolutely frivolous because he literally had it in the copyright. He had copyrighted the video beforehand because he knew something like this was going to happen. The people outright stated that we're going to steal views. They actually got the video from a third-party platform, so that way it didn't actually go to the original. So my view right here is actually going to the original creator. And I always tell people they need to check out the legendary series every time I watch one of his videos, because honestly, the entire series is enjoyable to watch from start to finish. Or it's still not finishing, but you have to do that. You have to let people know to check it out. Even if nobody does, it's still there. You're doing it with a good intention because it's something I enjoy. So it's worth watching. It's worth going and checking out. It's worth subscribing.
silent one here. But yeah, I don't know. She seems pretty confident here. We'll see what happens. I mean, if she wants to lose absolutely everything, be my guest. Still waiting for the Pegasus style fucking jump scare flashbang. Don't worry, I'm always there. I'm covering this too. If Ethan makes Frogie say sorry to Tecto and I'll implode. Oh my god, imagine. Moving on to rank #1 Hassan Sim and deranged lunatic 40-year-old cat lady Taylor Lorenz. She's gone on a video and is completely lying about Ethan. Here we got Taylor Lorenz. Ethan Klein is a vindictive psychopath, financially destroying his critics. Alrighty, Taylor, somebody did not goon to Hassan today. Very cranky. Reminder, this is who Taylor Lorenz actually is.
He's unreasonably good looking and like cool and dresses cool.
Tell me about it.
But you know what I mean? Like Hassan would be an influencer no matter what he was saying because he is
hot,
very attractive and very cool and genuinely a good person.
So here they are talking about the lawsuit.
3, I wouldn't call them tiny, but certainly not at all large streamers, younger women, and sued them for copyright infringement, but for putting a video of his on their channel and kind of commenting on it, reacting to it. And it's like, even if they did the copywriting, he made it clear that the rationale, the motive for it was that he has a ton of money and knows that they have none, and therefore.
That was not his reasoning. He gave a reason as to why. But everyone's ignoring the reason as to why. It's so in bad faith. It shows how bad the US is when this is considered reporting. When you get more information from a foreigner who's doing a slop video on this whole thing, the Pegasus, he's doing basically reporting. We're getting more information from him than we do from the real news organizations. That's just how bad it is here. That's just how bad it is. The fact that one of the biggest news organizations in the U.S. has now allied itself with a gambling company. Because, of course, the news organization is going broke because nobody believes them. It's all flat out lies. It's all in bad faith.
Can destroy them simply by bankrupting them or forcing them to settle. And last night, one of them read a script that was designed to humiliate her as much as possible.
Yeah, so let's be clear. Ethan Klein is a multi-millionaire YouTuber. He's one of the richest YouTubers out there. He's consistently in YouTube's top earners in terms of their podcast charts that they have. His podcast, the H3H3 podcast, has been going, I think, for a decade, if not longer. He's sort of an OG YouTuber, so he really got famous in the 2010s by covering drama and kind of being like an edgelord on the internet. He famously had a show with Hassan Piker called The Leftovers. October 7th happened. They had this messy breakup because, as you mentioned, Ethan's a hardcore Zionist. His wife, Ela, was in the...
My internet's acting up. It's my internet. It's my internet. But I hate the name calling to people to basically be like devaluing who they are. I hate it. But yeah, my internet's crapping out again. I'll finish this and I'll watch that one thing you sent on Discord, and then I'll wrap it up. I'll wrap it up because this is just I've been running a little too long. I spent too long on that one video. I probably should have saved that one for last, but it is what it is.
IDF has continued to defend the IDF, and he's used his millions and millions of dollars to essentially.
Right, she's Israeli
she's
herself.
Israeli.
Yes. And they lived in Israel, I think, too, right? So
yes,
yeah.
yes, yeah.
Oh my god, this is so pathetic. She goes, yeah, you got it, bro. You got that bullshit story that I cooked up on lock. Please believe me. Taylor, genuine question. What the fuck is wrong with you? You are one of the most deranged lunatics I've ever seen. Ethan legitimately has the most insane ops. So she says Ethan's a hardcore Zionist. I mean, where did that come from? Excuse me? And aren't you supposed to be a journalist, a well-respected journalist, and this is your journalism? Really accurate and truthful information here, Taylor. No wonder you were absolutely fired from your job and you are a disgraced reporter. Also, she's using all of these scummy tactics like, oh, his wife was in the IDF, and oh, they're Israeli, they lived in Israel, they clearly have this insane allegiance to Israel or whatever. Fails to mention it was mandatory service when you turn 18 years old or you literally go to prison, right? Something these other people will never do for their ideals. Also, she was a secretary with a desk job, not on the front lines or randomly murdering innocent babies as these people would have you believe, right? But of course, Taylor will say this stuff because she follows the Hassan script of Ela is a valid military target, right? Just
all in bad faith. Just all in bad faith. Yeah, but my internet's absolutely acting up. It's like every time I look, I've got zero. I've got zero up speed. Oh, it's the time. Yeah, around this time, the internet starts acting up. So yeah, I'll just need to wrap it up.
Completely insane
Crap.
people. Also, I find it interesting that Taylor Lorenz is glazing Ethan here unintentionally, saying how rich and popular he is. But I thought your idol Hassan says that Ethan is actually irrelevant and, oh, he's desperate for views. He just wants my attention because when I talk about him, he gets views or whatever. He basically says that nobody cares about Ethan and he has no motion. So I wonder which one is it, Taylor? Is he super popular or is he irrelevant, right? Because it can't be both at the same time unless you want to contradict your god Hassan, right? So then she continues calling.
It's funny. Says it's back and then it craps out immediately. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It says it's back. You say it's back and then it's gone. Like I get a high up speed and then it all disappears.
Them Israel defenders. Like, you're such a liar.
So these are Israel defenders here. You know, he's talked about wanting to go back to Israel, show everyone how beautiful Israel is. He's denied the genocide. He's, you know, it's disgusting what the stuff that he's doing in terms of that. So he lost, you know, a faction of his audience, but he, again, is this multi-millionaire, lives in this mansion, a gated community in one of the nicest, richest areas of Los Angeles. And he uses his vast amount of money and the attention that he gets from monetizing these hate campaigns to financially abuse these women. As you mentioned, these women have no audience compared to Ethan Klein. These are three very small Twitch streamers with a couple, you know, few thousand watchers or whatever, viewers.
Okay, wait a minute. Did you just call Frogan small? Frogan small? Okay, Taylor.
Job of the hut.
Okay, I knew you were a pathological liar, but this is getting ridiculous. I could believe all the other lies, but calling Frogan small, she is so small that you can see her in the night sky orbiting the sun as we speak, right? We used to have the Milky Way until Frogan came in and ate it, right? Because she thought it was a chocolate bar and she just ate it. Second off, I love how unintentionally she's absolutely humiliating them, saying that Casey Denims and Frogan have absolutely no motion and, you know, they're just these small streamers. They are so irrelevant, which is partly true. I mean, Casey and Frogan, of course, they have no motion at all. Now, Denims, you could argue that she's got her Sims and that army of simping or whatever. And whenever Hassan is offline, she gets like some of his viewers and shit like that. But I just love how embarrassing this is for them that she has to admit that most of them basically got no motion while also glazing Ethan, saying how popular he is. Also, please tell me that I heard that wrong because there's no way this lady is complaining about a gated mansion community. I wonder who.
Yeah, that's what's funny. My internet was crapping out, but yeah. The guy she's constantly crushing on, the person she was saying only got a famous because he's attractive. No one cares what he has to say because he's attractive. He lives in a gated community. He lives in the $3 million mansion in LA, incredibly expensive location. I mean, you can't complain about someone else's wealth when you're trying to sleep with a person because they're attractive and wealthy.
Else lives in a gated community, Taylor? Nobody you look up to, I'm sure. Fucking Hassan, the person you goon to every single night, you disgusting cat lady. Like, what is wrong with you? Also, genuinely, these lies about Ethan need to stop. Like, oh, he defended the genocide. He defends Israel. Like, do you ever get tired of this shit, repeating the same bullshit lies over and over and over again? Like, how are you calling anybody else a psychopath when you're acting like this? Right, so then Taylor lies about the lawsuit some more and says that Ethan actually encouraged them to react to the video and steal his video.
And they reacted to a video of his, something that he encouraged people to do. He encouraged people to react, you know, to his videos. This is very common in Twitch culture. They reacted, they criticized him, and he didn't like that. And so he used his money to essentially financially destroy them. And none of this is about copyright. As you mentioned, it's all about.
This is how T-type people get girl. I don't know. I don't know. Because it's just disgusting. It's just disgusting. So my personal opinion on the Hassan person who loves terrorists and all that stuff. He's just a grifter. He's a man whore, I believe the term is. He likes to sell himself to a certain demographic of people who are lonely and like someone. It's the same kind of thing where guys like someone where guys like female streamers. It's the same kind of thing, just from the different perspective, a different location, different avenue. It's the same thing, same concept. Just he's a guy being admired by women instead of a woman streaming admired by a guy.
Sort of just dominating them and destroying their lives. And he's a vindictive psychopath.
Amazing. So the hateful psycho who lies as easily as she breathes and is actively literally just lying right now and sort of poisoning the well, doing this negative framing of Ethan so this other person also thinks they're super bad or whatever, is talking about other people being vindictive. I mean, didn't you make an entire video about how somebody needs to do it, which is an obvious...
Yes. That is you have a reporter making a video about telling the world that somebody needs to assassinate a sitting president. Even even not a sitting president, even it just in general, it's disgusting. It's despicable. To make a video about that in general is absolutely heinous. I mean, imagine if someone made a video like that about me. It's incredibly monstrous. But because people don't like the president of the United States, it's like, oh, they get a pass. And because this isn't a dictatorship and people are actually allowed to say their own heinous opinions, it's allowed. Which is funny because they say we live in a fascist society, when in a fascist government, they would be removed. They would be the new labor force.
Reference to assassinating the president, even with their thumbnail, and advocating political violence. Didn't you literally make an entire video lying for Hassan, trying to rewrite history, saying it's a vibration collar after Hassan, plain as day, shocked his dog on camera, and even Cutie, his friend, went to his house and confirmed that it was a shock collar, and then he removed the prongs and taped over it to cover up for the public, right?
The collar is taped off where I think there would be prongs.
I mean, it's just disgraceful. This is not journalism. This is literally just propaganda. You are a paid fucking shill. And barely paid, let's just say that. Also, I'm sorry, Taylor, that you can't understand. They didn't go after your kids, right? Not that you have any. You're a miserable old cat lady, okay? Let's not let her...
She can't have kids, let's be honest. She's past that expiration date. there's a timestamp where, not to be heinous, but there is a time stamp for a period of time where women can actually genuinely safely have children. Then there is the incredible risk factor, and then there is the no kids. She's getting towards that no kids area.
Forget that. I feel like Ethan has every right to not like them and be as vindictive as he wants, because they literally were trying to ruin his life and went through all these disgusting measures to make his life hell. You know, partnered with iDubbbz in the content cop video as well. Denims was doing the L in the background as well. And the craziest part about all of this is that Ethan isn't even this massive supervillain that they think he is, because if he really was as vindictive as they were saying, then he would literally just bankrupt Casey Tron, completely ruin her life forever, because he has the power to do that. But he literally chose not to out of the goodness of his heart, and he just made her do that like apology
yes,
or whatever.
The product expired.
And you're still crying. What is wrong with you? And this is exactly what I said before, where no matter what Ethan does, these people will still cry. They will still play victim. They will still say that, oh, Ethan is the worst person ever. He's this Israel defender, genocide lover. Like, they're disgusting. Also, look at...
I swear, every time I make those jokes, my internet goes. Every time I start having a good time about making a questionable joke, my internet is starting to act up on me because of it. It happened the first time because I was laughing too hard because he was hugging a brother from another mother. And this time it was because I was referencing the product age expiring. Yeah, the expiration date.
They're just justifying like
they are
violating copyright law and shit. Like, oh, it's normal on Twitch to react to TV shows and their full length and, you know, completely steal shows. Yeah, it shouldn't be normal. Twitch is a fucking dumbass platform. You also leave out the blatant copyright violation they did when they explicitly said they were taking views from his video and they don't want people to watch the original, which is a large part of why this lawsuit was even successful in the first place.
A lot of people have been wanting to watch this without necessarily supporting Ethan Klein. So we're going to watch it.
So please, miss me with all this bullshit. So then this other guy talks about free speech, and I have a feeling that he literally just has no idea what's going on. He's sort of just parroting Taylor Lorenz here. He's just like this sort of robot being manipulated here. Or maybe he has some political alliance or something. I don't really know.
You know, it reminds me of like, you go to the gym every day, you're super strong, you happen to be born like 6'3", and then you go out on the street like looking for people who are like 5'6" and really skinny to beat up so that you can feel good about yourself. Like, that's not what psychologically healthy people do. You know, so I feel like I've been wronged on the internet in all sorts of ways, and maybe like I have a fleeting sense of like, God, I could destroy that person if I wanted using a tactic like this, but I just would never do it because it's so corrosive to the soul, but it's also kind of threatening.
This logic doesn't land if you actually know the situation, because if someone attacks you, you're going to attack back. It's that simple. It's called self-defense. If you're going out and attacking people publicly, which they were doing to him originally, he's finally taking defense back. He's finally lashing out back. So their analogy doesn't work for their argument because he's the defensive one. He's the one defending himself. They were the aggressors.
To free speech, right? Like, if this becomes a tactic that people commonly use, you can destroy anybody you want and intimidate them out of criticizing you. Like,
I mean, how insane is it that these morons talk about free speech while also celebrating the assassination of a guy who literally went out and talked to people, right? Like, you don't want fucking free speech. You just want your insane radical.
They didn't just celebrate it. They said he caused it himself because he thought the wrong way. I mean, how delusional do you have to be to think that you believe in free speech when you believe someone who's trying to encourage open thought and discussion, who was killed in public due to his own thoughts and his own argumentations and everything? It's so insane. How can you be such a hypocrite? But they just don't, they can't fathom it. They can't see past their own image.
Side to win. And if you had the power, at least if Taylor Lorenz had the power, she would shut down all discourse. She would ban everybody that disagreed with her, because this is not a genuine person. This is not a real person. Everything she says is a word of propaganda, and it only exists to serve her supreme overlord, Hassan Diddles Piker. I imagine every night Taylor Lorenz goes to bed and she dreams. She has a wet dream about Hassan. She dreams that Hassan is the supreme overlord of the entire universe, and he picked out his queen, and it happens to be Taylor Lorenz, the 40-year-old cat lady and failed journalist, right? And then everybody bows down before them and they live happily ever after. Taylor, take your fucking meds. Psycho ass old lady, bruh. So then she calls Ethan a crybaby and compares him to Israel. Oh, brother. Taylor, where did you get that one from? That sounds very familiar, actually. It couldn't be Hassan, could it? Wipe that drool off your face, you disgusting freak.
Yeah, I mean, what Ethan is doing is so gross on so many levels. Obviously, he's just personally destroying these women's lives, and he's a crybaby throughout the whole thing. He's trying, he's doing the Israel move of just like, abusing others and then playing the victim. So that's just abhorrent. What I think is also just so corrosive is that YouTube and Twitch and all the social media is built on building and critiquing the ideas of others. If you're going to put out some long video and people are going to critique it, maybe they are going to hate it. Maybe they are going to, support you in some way. Maybe they will technically violate some copyright law if you were to find it. But the spirit of YouTube has always been that you don't sue people over that type of stuff. You engage, right? Or you allow.
Yeah, you're allowed to engage. You're allowed to discuss. You're allowed to disagree. I mean, heck, I watched that one video where I was all in favor of it. Then I was a little iffy. Then I was not in favor. Then I was all in favor of it at the very end. But I was still able to accept it and see it for what it was. You can't just be a crazy cat lady and see your own perspective. You can't be like, oh, these people agree with me, so whatever they do is okay, even if it is in bad faith. That's the thing. If someone tells them, if they found out, they should have just been like, I apologize, I am taking it down. No, they doubled, tripled down, basically saying, no, they are in the right when they weren't in the right.
People to comment on your work.
There's no way she's actually this stupid. She just admitted that they violated copyright law. She just openly admitted, after crying all this time, that this guy is, oh my god, he's doing this lawsuit. It's a frivolous lawsuit. All these people are saying that, oh, he's abusing his power for no reason. You just admitted they violated copyright law. I mean, goddamn, bro. You just don't want Taylor Lorenz as your lawyer, bro. Like, what an absolute moron. Yes, technically, they violated the law. Yes, technically, they shot that person dead. But do we really need to press charges here? Yes, Taylor, you stupid mother flipper. That's why they're getting sued. Congratulations. You figured out the grade 2 puzzle. Most sane Hassan fan right here. Also, she's back again doing that bullshit. Ethan is acting like Israel, bro. Dude, what is with this shit? It's such an Israel move. You guys always do this. Can you like get some new material or something? This is like their new way of calling you like a PDF file or something. It's just something to instantly discredit you, and it really means nothing because obviously it's based on a bunch of lies and stuff. So I really encourage people when they hear stuff like this to not take it at face value, not take it seriously, because it's likely being made up by idiots like Taylor Lorenz. Now, if she couldn't get stupider, she admits that Ethan is not actually pro-Israel, and he actually denounces Israel's actions. And then she just cooks up her own story saying that, well, we gotta look at the full picture.
He doesn't actually seem to care about winning these cases. He just cares about humiliating these women and financially destroying them. But
if the case was frivolous, it wouldn't humiliate them. Why would they be humiliated? Because they actually broke the copyright law. Gee, you're trying to say one thing while agreeing with the complete opposite narrative. It's
I do think it's set this really nervous tone among YouTubers, where a lot of YouTubers are threatened to sue literally everyone that lightly criticizes him, while the entire time claiming to be the victim. They can say, "Oh, Israel commits a genocide," and then they're retweeting the people that are saying that there's no such thing as a genocide. I mean, they're just Ethan makes these comments, but you have to look at the totality of his behavior, and yeah, he's just a liberal Zionist. But
I'm sorry, Taylor. Where's the evidence? Evidence, please. I mean, you're a journalist. You're supposed to report on the facts of the situation. Oh, that's right. She doesn't have any because she's a fucking hack liar, lying through her teeth over and over again. Dude, I just remember like Ethan.
We should bring him to the US and actually have him be a real reporter. That's what we need to do. He's not even in the US. I think he's in Singapore. I think that's where he lives.
And talking about this Taylor Lorenz person, and he's like, "Oh, this person's absolutely crazy." And then I was just like, "Oh yeah, you know, must be another Hassan orbiter or something." But no, this person's a special breed. Reminder: this is the person who said Ethan is psychosexually obsessed with Hassan while literally gooning to him every night, bro. I can't with this person. Also, how snaky do you have to be to say, "Oh yeah, he denounces a genocide. Oh yeah, he's not actually pro-Israel." But also, let's look at the totality of his behavior. Basically saying, "Oh yeah, you just gotta just watch his streams, bro. Just watch his streams. Oh, he's a fascist, Nazi, and a Zionist. Why? Oh, just watch his streams, bro." Like, you have to give examples, Taylor. Also, I just find it interesting as someone who looks at the totality of someone's behavior, right? How do you possibly defend Hassan then? Because if you look at the totality of Hassan's behavior, then you probably leave thinking he's a terrorist, right? Or a terrorist glazer or something. So, I don't know, Taylor. It seems like rules for thee, but not for me. And Taylor, genuine message at this point, please take your meds. This is not healthy, right? I think at this point, you gotta find a partner or something. Take up a hobby that will distract you from Hassan. A hobby that's not journalism, obviously, because this is an obsession like no other, right? I've never seen anything like this. You're more obsessed than Dan Clancy is with his gooning rag, all right? You need to stop, genuinely. Hassan really got the most loyal soldiers, bruh. Wasn't Glenn mocking Taylor a couple of weeks ago and calling her a talentless hack? Well, I hope he was. While the interview was surreal and also hypocritical, the irony is almost tangible. Make it stop. Glenn is covering internet drama now. This is embarrassing, disheartening. Exactly. They should watch the prime source that is the MorePegasus channel and the legendary series. Taylor knows a thing or two about bullying people online.
The legendary series is a must watch. It's just gold.
Great guest selection, Glenn. No hypocrisy detected. This is amazing. Like, even Taylor can't go anywhere without being absolutely shit on. I guess she follows in Hassan's footsteps there. Hard to find anyone with less credibility than this guest. Well, you could always pull up Hassan. Taylor's a deeply unserious journalist, and your interpretation of events is embarrassing. I don't think this guy did a shred of research. He's just sort of listening to whatever this person's telling him, right? You schmuck, Ethan isn't a Zionist. He's been branded a Zionist by unhinged people who have a vendetta against him. You're talking to someone who's actively defaming him. The Roblox blog reporter. Please stop undermining her crucial journalism in reporting the Roblox ICE protests. They shot a protester in Roblox. Oh my.
Messaging kids. She's an adult messaging kids. Reverse the roles, and there would be a police report against them.
My God, guys. She needs to talk to the minors, bypassing the parents, in order to report on a story. Very important. Ethan is as much a Zionist as Taylor Lorenz is a young woman. That is diabolical. Oh my God. I think I said it previously in this video. I might cut out that first instance in order to keep this instance of the D word. This group of girls worked in coordination with Reddit to encourage people to not view Ethan's video. They deserve the lawsuit. Glad to see there are sane people out here. Anyways, the beef continues on Twitter and Instagram. Apparently, Hila texted Taylor and she started crying about it. Ethan responds to Taylor tweeting about Hila texting her. Basically, Taylor tweeted this: Hila Klein, stop texting me privately about how you're worried about my mental health and you want to avoid a public spat when your deranged husband spends all day harassing and abusing me on the internet. You sent this to me less than 48 hours ago. And we'll take a look at this in a second, and we'll look at the full version instead of Taylor's cropped bullshit. Ethan responds, Taylor, you are acting paranoid again. Sad. The reason we shared the relevant facts with you is to prevent you from potentially embarrassing yourself, and we did it privately so the public wouldn't ridicule you. So why would you show this? Crying. Taylor, a lot of us do have your best interest at heart, and although I know you're in the throes.
That is insane. They were trying to actually help someone who's defaming them with proper intelligence. And of course, the person who claims to be a journalist refuses the actual information in preference to what they feel.
Of a paranoid delusional crash out. I want you to remember that people love you and want to help. By the way, Ethan is completely trolling her because Taylor did the exact same thing to Ethan, where she reached out and pretended to care about him while completely slandering him to the public, right? Also, reminder, Taylor Lorenz is self-admittedly completely broke and is absolutely struggling financially. She does all this for free, just like all the other Hassan orbiters. They have no financial incentive. They're just this delusional. So here's the full message. Klein's declaration. Dear Taylor, I saw your response to the TMZ article. We want to be charitable and you seem confused about the facts. We would like to exercise grace and share the relevant information with you directly to avoid a public spat. Think that's a bit too late. Included is our full joint declaration that includes the emails from Skull's Unlimited executive skating. On record, it was a real Skull, not a prop. And information on who sent them and how it was sent. Read this entire declaration as it has a lot of pertinent information that directly affects your reporting. Oh, they sent human skulls to your house? Not interested unless it's in Roblox. Now, did they send Roblox characters to your house? Now that's a story. Additionally, I know you're going through a tough time right now, and I just want you to know that we have your best interest at heart. This is actually amazing. I just want you to know that we have your best interest at heart. We are concerned about your mental health, and we're wishing the best for you. I want you to know that we are here anytime for you. I hope you...
Well, it makes sense. She's 40 years old. She's been chasing after the same guy for probably, I think it's like 7 years. When he was late 20s, she was mid 30s, early 30s, hoping to catch him up. But it's continued on to the point where she's now in her 40s and still receiving nothing in return. of course she's going to start crashing out in her life. She's seeing the end of her life, and there is nothing there. It's rather tragic. It is rather tragic, but funny at the same time when they're kind of these types of obnoxious people.
Can get lots of much needed rest this holiday season. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to you. Bro, Ethan and Hila stay winning, man. They have been taking unlimited amount of Ws. People responded a couple days ago. I have PTSD because I got doxxed and was criticized. A few days later, I doxxed a woman for fun. Oh, the memes are getting good. What kind of journalist releases private text unprompted? Who would trust her with any private information? Nobody. Except DJ Dan Clancy, who thought it would be a wonderful idea to do an interview with her in which he said that Emiru deserved to get essayed because she didn't ban this person from her chat. Hila ate her up and all Taylor could do was post a message in a literal out of context manner. How freaking embarrassing. I'm sure as a fact-finding, truth-seeking journalist, she will update her prior false assertions regarding this incident now. This literally reminds me of how Tectone was supposedly exposed for DMs, and the DMs were literally him being like, let's squash beef and play Fortnite. Am I remembering wrong here? Nope, he sent that to Denims. Now click this video for some hot and steaming chicken and rice.
Yummy. Everyone enjoys chicken and rice. Well, some people just enjoy the rice. Some people just enjoy the rice. But yeah, everyone needs to check out the Legendary series. It's always worth a watch. It's always enjoyable. I always get a good laugh. I always get a good laugh.
You guys get a video?
Oh.
So bad.
And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Wait on that.